I made $100 million in GTA Online. How long did it take me? Way longer than I thought it would. Let me lay it out for you. For this challenge, I had a few rules. I had to do everything from heists, sell missions, contracts, completely solo. I would be skipping the career builder, which would normally give new players some free money and businesses. None of that auto-aim controller nonsense. I need to use my brain while aiming. And finally, no pussmobile. I made my man and started grinding. My first objective was to go down memory lane and rob a convenience store. I'd go in, intimidate the cashier, run out with my money, and immediately get gunned down by the cops. Upon respawning, I hit my first roadblock not even 5 minutes in. I come in contact with my first wizard. These assholes are extremely annoying, but I have more to say about them later. Being broke means I can't buy any weapons, vehicles, and is far too realistic. This leads me to do 2 of the daily missions online has to offer, with the stash houses and G caches, which take a few minutes to complete, and I net myself $51,000. Running over to ammunition, I pick up a special carbine with a drum magazine, giving me some extra firepower needed to start my first heist. See, most heists in online require some type of startup fee. The Cluck and Bell farm raid is different, with it requiring 0 upfront costs and having a payout of $500,000. This heist will be a pillar to our grind. I meet Vincent, a cop at the LSPD who has a mission for us. The skinny is that a new cartel in town has been running a coke operation out of a Cluck and Bell factory, and we are going to steal their next shipment. Cluck and Bell has 5 pre-heist setup missions. First, we need to acquire some funds for our operation by raiding 2 money laundering businesses, loot the cash, and return them to Vincent's lockup. Second, we have to track down a Cluck and Bell employee and repossess his laptop that has information for the operation. Next, track down a master hacker's mobile hacking station to grab a custom hacking device. Lastly, we steal a whole ass train that will be used to enter the building. Third is obtaining weapons and a disguise. The game gives us 3 options to choose from, and the mission is pretty open with how you want to approach it. Do you want it over quick? Go for one of the closest gains with crappy weapons, or you could get all 3 and mix and match as you see fit. I stole from the militiamen. The 4th mission has the same concept as the previous one, but this time it's for a getaway vehicle. Whatever you choose, we park it next to the factory for later. The 5th mission is us finding and sabotaging the cartel's delivery vehicles, and on top of that, finding a key card we need to enter sealed off areas in the facility. We hacked some vans, steal a disguise, enter the delivery depot, pop all the guard, trash the CCTV footage, and finally find the key card. You have the option to stealthily destroy the trucks or to just blow them up. This changes how the heist will play out. We leave, steal a freight truck, and return to the lockup. It's finally time to break into the chicken factory. We sneak in by train, and I immediately blow my cover by blasting the first guy I see. Taking out more guards, I enter the basement to steal whatever product they have lying around and do the same in the storage area. Making my way to the office, I use the hacking device on 3 different computers to get the safe code to the vault, which has more money inside. Now it's time to leave. The cops and cartel are outside, but I make my way to where we stashed the getaway car, returning to Vincent's lockup one last time. First bid payout, baby! On top of the $500K for completing the heist, I get a little treat with a first time completion bonus of $250,000. Throwing them into my bank account, we are off to a great start. Finally having some money, I need to get properly set up with weapons and vehicles. See, I adopted the philosophy of broke maxing. This means I'm going to penny pinch my way to 100 million. Driving back to ammunition, this is the one and only time I'm going to be buying weapons. I pick up a micro SMG with a suppressor and extended mag that can be used while driving. I pick up a homing launcher for vehicles and helicopters, a heavy sniper for long distance, some sticky bombs, and finally, throwing a suppressor and scope on the special carbine, giving me a very well-rounded arsenal. For vehicles, Rock Daddy hands out a do to death alongside a 2-car garage for the beautiful price of free. Lastly, I pick up a Batty 801RR motorcycle as a cheap and quick grind vehicle. With the chicken heist on a 1-hour cooldown, I start up the Drug Wars DLC, with them having 6 and 5 missions respectively. Each mission has a nice little first time completion bonus, and upon finishing the first half, it gives us a free acid lab that is very crucial to our grind. The story of the DLC is fine. You have Dats and his group of crackheads who live out in the boonies, moving into the city and trying to set up their own drug operation. Part 1, or the first dose missions, are moving Dats and his crew to LS, stealing stuff and taking out their rivals, the Lost MC, taking out more Lost MC and stealing more drugs, tripping balls with the boys, murdering a bunch of drugged out hippies, and finally derailing a train to steal the Brigade 6x6 that is used for our acid lab. For part 2, or last dose, it's more of the same. One of their people gets kidnapped, we do some investigation into where he was taken, we learn it was the therapist Bob Ross guy from the story mode, we have a boss fight with Bob Ross while tripping again, and finally steal a plane with a bunch of product and keep it for ourselves. And when it's all over, we are sitting on a respectable 1.6 million. I spend $750,000 of that installing the lab equipment into the 6x6, do 10 smaller quick missions for DATs that will give us the ability to spend another $250,000 for the production upgrade, giving us a maxed out acid lab. With that, stage 1 is nearly complete. I do 3 more runs of Cluck and Bell, getting me over the threshold to enter stage 2, which starts with us buying an agency. Staying true to my philosophy, I buy the cheapest agency building. This opens up quite a few new ways to make money, with the main one being the Dr. Dre contract. Yes, that Dr. Dre. This contract is special. Upon completion, it will reward us with a consistent $1 million every single time, and it will be another pillar to our grind. Arriving at the agency, we are greeted by our boy Franklin, who takes us to meet Dre at the nearby golf course. Long story short, the doctor's phone has been stolen, and we are tasked with hunting it down and finding out who did it.
What's in that phone? Anything about me?
Private financial shit, naked pictures, but more importantly, a lot of my fucking music.
Ooh, now I'm motivated. The first mission starts immediately, which is just us chasing down some annoying golfers and beating the crap out of them because they made Daddy Dre upset. The second mission tasks us with breaking into the FIB headquarters, breaking into their system to learn everything we can about who stole Dre's phone. We learn the phone has been copied 3 separate times, and these copies are in the hands of the Triad, some billionaire, and a gang located in Davis. Each lead has 3 different missions. The first phone copy was traced to a Triad nightclub in LS. We go over there to steal the security camera footage to identify whoever is in possession of the copy. We bust in, start shooting, secure the hard drive, and make our escape. We learn that some club promoter has Dre's music and was caught on camera docking a speedboat at the marina. We find the speedboat and see he used it to travel to a super yacht offshore. We pull up, enter the bridge to turn off the security, head below deck, and find evidence that the promoter will be playing the unreleased music at a party very soon. Finally, we suit up, drive to the casino, and sneak our way into the penthouse party. We try grabbing his laptop with the music, but that slimy bastard makes a run for it. We start blasting and chase after him. We catch him in the downstairs club, grab his backpack with the laptop, race back to the agency, and we now have 1 of 3 phone copies. We need to head over to a country club out of town to find a lead on the second phone copy. We enter the security area, blast the guards, and hack the computer to steal some CCTV footage. We learn that a certain limo was at the country club the same time as a copy of the phone. We track down the limo and follow it all the way back to the billionaire's house. The billionaire is going to throw a party to show off the unreleased music. We need to find a way onto the guest list. We race over to some rich lawyer's house who's friends with the billionaire, take out his security, stun his ass, throw him into the trunk, and steal him and his car, driving back to the agency for some questioning. The lawyer spilled the beans on the party. We get suited up once again and pose as the lawyer to sneak inside. Arriving at the party, we learn the music is being streamed by the billionaire from inside the house. We start trashing the place until he tries to escape by helicopter. We chase after him and do enough damage to the helicopter for him to crash. We drive up, take the phone copy, and floor it back to the agency with his private security on our tail. 2 down, 1 more to go. The last copy is located somewhere in Davis. Franklin sends us to meet his contact Vernon, who will help us find the music, only after we help him bust a drug deal. We nicely ask the dealers to leave and steal a van full of Breaking Bad equipment. We meet Vernon again, who says that his rivals may have a copy of Dre's phone. We pull up and start lasering these guys indiscriminately. We follow Vernon to a small garage where the baller's boss is trying to hide. He says he doesn't have it. Someone else does. We can finally go after the last phone copy and are assisted by Vernon to help us take out the Vagos, who is bumping Dre's unreleased music. We arrive, take out more guys. The car with the music tries to escape, but we take out the driver, secure the lowrider, and drive it back to the agency. With all 3 phone copies secured, now we need to learn who stole the phone to begin with. We get another lengthy ass cutscene explaining how some guy named Johnny Guns orchestrated all this phone business because of some beef him and Dre had back in the day, in some ancient time period known as the 90s. Dre leaves to go to his studio, but Johnny Guns sends his goons to try and take him out. We rush over there and do what we do best. Take out everyone outside, head indoors, and doing the same until all of Johnny's men are lying on the floor. Dre, having almost been killed, decides there's no better time to start dropping bars in the longest cutscene known to man, and Anderson .Paak is there for some reason. The last mission has us tracking down Johnny Guns. We head to his last known location, have a shootout with his men, and finally chase him to the airport where he's trying to skip town. We take out more guards, get our hands on Johnny, and take him outside so Dre can give him a golfing lesson. The last thing we have to do is drive Dre to his helicopter, and we are $1 million richer. Very long-winded, but well worth it. Getting $1 million from Dre, around $500,000 from doing a acid lab cell mission, which I will talk about in more detail soon, and another Cluck and Bell farm raid, we nudge ourselves right into stage 3. Our next objective is to buy a submarine for $2.2 million. The Tasaka submarine will unlock possibly the best money-making heist in GTA Online, Cayo Perico. So, we do the usual story business of meeting our contact being Madrazo Jr. He wants us to sneak onto a private island in the Caribbean, owned by some guy named El Rubio, and steal some incriminating files Rubio has on his family. I don't really care about that. What we are interested in is all the other little treasures we can take for ourselves. We meet some English dude who provides us with a way onto the island. By disguising ourselves as a band's tour manager, we take a private jet, land and meet Mr. Rubio, attend a exclusive beach party. Scott Storch is there for some reason. We dance for a bit, and finally start the actual mission. We need to get intel on where Mr. Rubio is keeping the files. We sneak around the island and make our way to the nearby communication tower. Hacking into the signal box, we do a little mini game to gain access to the security cameras. Flipping through them, we watch a live leak video and find the documents locked up in the basement safe. Returning to our jet, we fly home, board our sub, and we can now lay out a plan of how we're going to approach this heist. We have 6 different options on how we can arrive to the island, with each approach vehicle having a sourcing mission, which is just stealing it from wherever and stashing it for later. The only one I used during my entire run was the lawn fin boat. For the equipment, we have 2 pieces that are always required to be obtained every single Cayo heist: the fingerprint cloner to gain access to the basement elevator, and the safe code / plasma cutter, which will swap based on what your main objective is. For optional equipment, you have the demolition charges if you want to go in guns blazing, or the cutting torch for a sneaky entrance underwater. Lastly is what weapon loadout we want. My main loadout was always aggressor, for that sweet assault shotgun. Having stolen the lawn fin from the police, taking out El Rubio's head of security at the casino and grabbed the safe code, stealing the fingerprint scanner, repossessing some weapons from a nearby agency, and raiding the O'Neill's ranch for some makeshift explosives, we are ready for our first Cayo heist. Approaching the island with the lawn fin, we head to the main dock. Swimming the shore, I need a disguise as well as a cargo truck to sneak in through the security checkpoint and make my way up to the compound's main gate. Setting the explosives, I blast my way inside and start blowing any bodyguard that crosses my path until I reach Rubio's office. Using the fingerprint scanner, I do a quick mini game of matching the left and right side, which opens the elevator down to the vault. I use explosives on the door lock, enter the code to the safe, grab the Madrazo files, and head back upstairs to escape the compound. I grab a nearby motorcycle, race back to the north dock, and hop on a attack boat to make my escape back to the submarine. One long cutscene later, and we are $1.3 million richer. And with that, we have fully set up everything we need for the 100 million grind. Let me quickly lay out the plan for you. It starts with logging in. The first thing I do is summon my acid lab to make sure it's stocked up, and I apply my once a day production bonus. This will produce product for me in the background. Second would be running a Cayo Perico heist with an average completion time of under 1 hour, with the reward ranging from 900k to 1.5 million. Third would be speeding through a Dre contract mission. A little over 1 hour is the average completion time, with a $1 million payout. A cheeky Clutch and Bell raid with a 1 hour completion time and a 500k reward. And finally, returning to my acid lab to do a cell mission, which ranges from 5 to 10 minutes and around a 500k payout. Each one of these activities has some sort of cooldown, so by laying them out in this order, by the time I sell my acid, Cayo should be ready to go again. This will be my grind set. It's not perfect, but a good enough plan to help me achieve my goal. The one thing holding this entire grind plan together is this, the Sparrow helicopter, one of the best solo grind vehicles in the game. This little guy speeds up every aspect of Cayo and Dre. It's totally worth the investment. Now, let's optimize the shit out of it. Cayo has multiple primary targets with different values that are random with each run, alongside multiple secondary targets scattered around the island. This makes each Cayo run have a wide range of payouts. To start the Cayo heist, we fast travel in the sub to a plane's location, steal it, fly to the island, and perform a scouting mission like before, but without all the story cutscene nonsense. From the plane, I check these 2 buildings for secondary loot, then grab this motorcycle parked outside, driving this path to avoid the guards and until you reach this guard tower. Do a jump and drive all the way up to the communication tower. Once you do the minigame and find the primary target, kill yourself to get sent back to the plane and leave in under 5 minutes. Now for the main event. Lawn fin, I cut left to the airstrip, park my boat here by this rock, and go into the 2 buildings for the secondary loot, storing what I can fit in my bag and making sure to grab what's most expensive. Returning to my boat, I cruise all the way around to the back of Rubio's compound, jump in the water, equip a rebreather so I don't drown, and enter through the underwater tunnel. This is my route into the main office. I just start running until I reach this guard, wait for him to move, walk around him, walk past this guard, go up the stairs and wait for this guy to pass. Enter the office, making sure to open the wall safe for free money, do the fingerprint minigame, enter the basement, get the primary target, and boom, a lot of money. Go back upstairs, exit the office, down the stairs, and stand right at this ledge. Wait for the guard guard below you to move and face plant off the balcony, and just walk, don't run, to the exit and press the button to watch the door opening cutscene for the millionth time. Take that motorcycle again, this time cut left up this hill, keep driving until you jump off the cliff into the water, equip another rebreather, and just swim through the mines until you reach the submarine. The first time you run the Dre contract, it takes quite a while with the slow 2 intro missions, the long ass cutscenes, and Franklin waiting decades to call you to start the next mission. All of these time wasters can be skipped on repeated playthroughs, which is very nice. Once again, the Sparrow is what truly speeds up most of these missions. For the nightlife leak, the marina mission has one of the better time skips. Just don't go to the marina, fly to the ocean. The promoter's yacht has 2 spawn locations, just land on the deck and retrieve the evidence. For the high society leak, first 2 missions are basically unchanged. The final mission though does have some cheeky tricks. When you arrive at the billionaire's party, have no mercy and start blasting immediately until he boards his helicopter. Drive out front into the street and using your heavy sniper, shoot the chopper until it catches fire and the health bar disappears. Then blow yourself up to fail the mission. Hit restart at checkpoint and voila, you just skipped minutes of pointless driving. When the last mission starts, instead of driving to Johnny Gunn's last location, I would instead drive up to this hill, whip out my sniper, and shoot this propane tank until it explodes, causing a cutscene to start and magically warping me to the location of the mission. Probably doesn't save any time, but just feels cool to do. When you get to the airport to grab Johnny, you can skip the entire hangar fight by shooting this tanker here, jumping up and running across until you're in the back of the hangar, walking around and up the stairs. Johnny spawns and you can grab him quickly. Clark and Bell really just gets faster the more you do it. The only real way I sped up the mission was using the railroad for escaping the police after the heist. Now time for the acid lab. It's a fully passive money maker. All I have to do is complete a sell mission once the product bar is maxed out, and I will make around 350,000 in a private lobby, but usually clears $500,000 in a full public lobby. In online, there are public lobbies and private lobbies. You can probably tell by the names, but private is when you have the lobby all to yourself or your friends. Public is a persistent lobby where up to 30 people can join, but with the possibility of being griefed by other players. This makes my acid sell missions in public lobbies more risky, but with a trade-off of being more rewarding with the high demand bonus. But public lobbies have some serious problems. On my journey, I ran into 2 types of hackers: chill wizards and, for lack of a better term, bitch wizards. CWs are still losers for using hacks in a multiplayer game, but they kind of just goof around and don't cause that much trouble. BWs, on the other hand, just want to watch the world burn. You never see them. They just nuke everybody who joins and touch themselves to the kill feed. I've laid out my plan, how to optimize, my struggles, but now all that's left to do is to grind this shit out.
I did it. Oh my god. I did it. Oh my god. Finally. No more.
And there it is. But how did I do on time? Good lord. I spent basically 140 hours of my life making fake money in a video game when the new one is supposed to come out at the end of the year. Finally, after all of that, now that I have my money, time to suit up and make a very important purchase.
Congratulations, buyer. Welcome to one of the most desirable properties in southern San Andreas. You've also got me, Angel, your AI assistant, to make sure you have everything you need. Can I call you Daddy?
Totally worth it.